everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to do the Dragonfly baby blanket. Now the pattern shows us how to do the size for approximately a 36 by 36 baby size blanket and tells us to do a chain of 109 loops. So if you want to do the 36 by 36 size, you can chain 109, or you can decrease or increase your size by adding or taking away multiples of 13 chains on your starting chain. So I'm going to do a sample piece, so I have 31 chains in my starting chain. So determine what size you want to do. If you want to follow along with the baby size blanket, you can do a starting chain of 109. And then once you've got your chain ready, then meet me here. I'm going to assume that you know how to do a starting chain. And when you're ready to work into your chain, then that's where I'm going to start here. So just pause your video and get ready with your starting chain of however many chains you've decided to do. So then what we're going to do is we're going to start with row 1, which says to do an alt chain in the second loop from the hook. Now an alt chain, let me show you what an alt chain is. An alt chain is the next few things I'm going to do. It starts with a single crochet in the second loop from the hook. So the second loop from the hook is right here. And it's a single crochet. That's just part of it. It starts with a single crochet. And then if I turn it this way, you're going to see that there's 2 loops created by that single crochet. There's one that we'll call the left one, and there's one that we'll call the right one. So the next step of the alt chain is to insert your hook only into this left one. And then pull up a loop, pull it back through that left one, yarn over, and pull through both. So that's your alt chain. And then to create the rest of row 1, you're going to do double crochets in the rest of your chain. So then simply double crochet in every loop in the rest of your chain until you reach the end, and then start the video again, and we will move on to row 2 of the Dragonfly blanket. Okay, so now I've done my double crochets all the way to the end of row 1. So now row 2 says work an alt chain in the first stitch, and this is how you do the alt chain for the rest of the rows. Is you turn your work without doing any chains, and the reason that Janaea has us doing these alt chains is that it doesn't leave that gap at the end of your row. You'll find that there are no gaps between the chain and the double crochets, and it'll just make your work look better. It gives it a really nice looking finish. So now the alt chain is this is the alt chain, make a single crochet in the first stitch of your row, and then you're going to insert your hook in that left loop there that you've just created with your single crochet. So right there, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And that creates your turning chain and your first double crochet all in one, and leaves you with no unsightly gaps. And then you're going to do a double crochet in the next 7 stitches. So there's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and then chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next 12. So skip that one, double crochet in the next 12, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next 12 until you reach the end of your row, and meet me at the end of your row 2. Okay, so there's what my work looks like at the end of row 2. Now I'm going to move on to row 3. So turn your work and do an alt chain at the beginning of row 3. So single crochet into the very first stitch of that line, and then insert your hook into that left loop of the single crochet right there, and draw up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And then we're going to double crochet in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3. So 4 double crochets, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip those 3, and then single crochet into the chain 1 space of the previous row. Like that. Chain another 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next 3, and then double crochet into the next 6. And that's the pattern you're going to repeat for the rest of your row. Chain 3, skip 3, single crochet into that chain 1 space of the previous row, chain 3, skip 3, and double crochet into the next 6. And when you get to your last set of double crochets, you're going to end with only 5 instead of 6. So continue that pattern until you get to the end of your row, and I will meet you at the end of row 3. Okay, so in row 3 we created the wings, some of the wings for our dragonfly, and in row 4 we're going to turn our work and do another alt chain. So single crochet into the first stitch of the row, insert your hook into that left loop of the single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then double crochet in the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So skip 1 double crochet, and then we'll skip that whole chain. And working a split single crochet into the single crochet means that we make sure we go right down into the actual V of the single crochet, and not not just into the top loops. So when I do that, I'm going to make sure that I'm working right down into the V of the single crochet. Like that. And then chain another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip 1 double crochet. which implies that we skip this entire chain as well, but then in the pattern it's written as skip 1 double crochet. So go ahead and skip that chain and skip that next double crochet as well, and double crochet in the next 4. And that's the pattern that you'll be repeating for the rest of this row. Your pattern is chain 4, skip 1 double crochet, and by that means you skip that chain as well. Split single crochet into that single crochet from the previous row, chain 4, skip 1 double crochet in the next 4 until you get to the end of your row, and that'll give us that next layer of our wings. So I will meet you at the end of row 4. Okay, so that's the end of row 4. Now for row 5, we're going to turn our work, do the alt chain again, just as we have every row. So single crochet in the first stitch, insert that hook into the left loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now double crochet in the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 double crochets in the chain 4 space. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. A split triple crochet into the single crochet from the previous round. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into that single crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And then 4 double crochets in the next chain 4 space. So there's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then 4 double crochets in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then that brings us to our next dragonfly already. So that's the pattern that you're going to repeat to finish off the first dragonfly. You're going to do 4 double crochets in the chain 4 space, a split triple crochet into the single crochet from the previous round, 4 double crochets in the chain 4 space, and then 4 double crochets in the next 4. And that'll give us the top to our first dragonfly. So continue with that until you get to the end of your work, and I'll meet you at the end of row 5. And then the next row, row 6, turn your work and work one of these alternative chains into the first stitch. And then row 6 is going to be a double crochet into every stitch. And that, if you're following the pattern and changing the colors the way that it's laid out in the pattern, this is going to be your last row of this color, and then you're going to switch colors on row 7. So that completes, this row is going to complete one section of this color. Well, that's one completion of the pattern that contains one entire dragonfly with the amount of yarn surrounding your dragonfly to give it the look that creates this blanket. So there's a few of the double crochets, and then the rest of the row is just more of those same double crochets. So that's enough to get you started. That's got enough of that dragonfly to give you the look of your blanket, and then the rest of the pattern is just a repeat of those previous rows with adjustments made for the correct sizes, showing you where to change the colors. And then there's also directions for a border as well, and the link to that free pattern will be in the description for this video. So have a look at that and follow along there and enjoy making your gorgeous dragonfly blanket.